I think that's all the thoughts that I had in my brain. It's all empty up there. Morning. Happy Monday. I have a full 5-day work week, which my goal is for this work week not to be like the previous ones. You would have seen 2 weeks ago whenever I had crazy busy week. You would have seen last week when I had crazy busy week and didn't even get a vlog. And then I technically was at work on Saturday, my birthday. Oh, I'm 24 now, by the way. Hey. Worked on Saturday for our service of remembrance, and then now I'm headed into a full 5-day work week. And like I said, my goal is for the vibes to be different this week, but that's like something that's totally out of my control. Okay, the vibes are not out of my control, but the level of busyness, which is what I'm like actually wanting to be better, is totally out of my control. But I can only control what I do in my day, in my hours off work, you know? The things that I know about happening this week are 5 different family meetings that I need to schedule with doctors for my ICU patients. 5, that's a lot. And the other things I'm sure will just come up during the week. I'm trying to finish my smoothie because it's very cold, so that I can have my hands covered up whenever I'm outside. I'm getting close. I think I'm getting close enough to where I'll be able to do it. And then I'm updating my little book. And then I'm also updating my little like books read in 2024 so far, just to give me something else to do, I guess. But overall, hello, welcome to this work week vlog. I feel like you're at an advantage right now because you can see how the week's gonna go, and like currently sitting here right now, I feel nervous. I feel nervous. I feel like you're watching my slow descent, or maybe my fast descent, or maybe you're not watching anymore. Ooh, that was cool with the steam. I have not yet caught a break regarding my level of busyness. I feel like I'm becoming like the butt of jokes at work. But it's not like I'm like taking on additional responsibilities or anything. It's just like my regular responsibilities just by chance have happened to be amped up recently. I feel like today I did a little bit of everything, if I'm gonna be honest. Did a little bit of child protection services, did a little bit of liaisoning, did a little bit of promoting communication between doctors and parents and giving an avenue for that, did a little bit of no insurance, financial resources needed, prescription assistance, discharge planning, did a little bit of counseling and support. What's crazy now that I think about it, actually, I think my caseload number has been lower than usual. I just have not been lower than usual. I'm gonna keep trying to remember, was there a time when I was not this busy at work? And like, yes, there was. I used to go looking for things to do because I didn't have all that much to do. But it is just a different era right now. And like I keep saying, I imagine this era has to be temporary. Whenever I got home today, I went back to the gym and just like biked and read for a little bit. My body, I just felt like I needed to get something out of me. I don't know. And I think I'll sit here and try to finish this puzzle because I'm so close to being done that I feel like now I just need to be done. So whether I listen to something or put on a YouTube video, I'll kind of think about that. The nice thing is that it's 7:16 right now, so the night is young. It's not even like I do feel a little overwhelmed. Okay, I think I do feel overwhelmed. I guess the reason that it feels different than like previous feelings of overwhelmation though is that I do feel like I can ask for help, and I do feel like I receive help when I ask for it. I just truly feel like 2024 has brought something different going on so far. It trialed me right in the beginning, and I would like to stop being trialed. I know I've mentioned before how we track our productivity Our goal is 60% because that's like straight client facing things. So things like social work meetings, things like my supervision, things like, I can't think of other things, but like other things that aren't patient facing is what makes up that other 40%. So our goal is 60% patient facing, client related activities. And today I was 81% again. That's me doing too much. That's what that is. I think this is my first time washing my hair the morning of a work day with this job, which is like not that revolutionary, but just is different than anything that's ever happened before. But truly it's because yesterday I really needed to wash my hair, and I knew that the whole day. I was like, okay, my plan is to wash my hair tonight. Not a big deal, like just get in the shower and wash your hair. And then I forgot until after I bathed, and I was like all clean already, sitting on the couch reading my book later, and was like, oh my gosh, I was going to wash my hair today. But then at that point it felt too late and I'd already bathed, and so I was like, I'll just wake up early tomorrow and do it. So now I have wet hair. It's 50 degrees outside, which I don't remember what that feels like. How do we go from having, it was like 3 this past weekend to 50 right now? That I do not know. Today at work, I have several meetings. I feel like my day is kind of punctuated by meetings. I have meeting 10:15, meeting at 1, and meeting at 3. So like there is time in between those, but there's not like a lot of flexibility in between those. Got my waffle. Got my smoothie. I think I'm just gonna read my book while I drink my smoothie this morning. I feel like nothing's been groundbreaking lately. Like morning routine, not groundbreaking. Evening routine, not groundbreaking. I do go to ballet today though, which is fun and exciting. Oh, and I'll show you this when I get them, but I finally picked pictures to print to put in the picture frames that I got like a couple months ago to put up on our living room wall. One thing about my follow through with things that like I can live without is that it's so slow. Because like I've been wanting to put pictures up there, but the process has taken a long time. They're ready to pick up at CVS though, but I think maybe like on my way to ballet, I'll go get those pictures today. So, you know, little fun things sprinkled in throughout the work week beyond just work. I'm thinking, and I haven't decided yet how I'm gonna do this, like what my little like prompts are, but I'm thinking I'm gonna come up with like some sort of like, not regulated structure to like end of the day work reflections a little bit, because I feel like sometimes whenever I just like don't vlog after a work day, part of me is like, what do I say? How do I recap that? What happened? Which I think is fair. And I think maybe I'll probably have to try out a couple things before I find one that I like, but I kind of feel like maybe my setup can be like a high of the day, a low of the day, something funny and like something cute maybe, or like something like that, something I learned. I'll have to fine tune that, but you know what I mean, like more structure into the how the workday goes. I think that's all the thoughts that I had in my brain. I was trying to come up with any more. No more thoughts, it's all empty up there. I'll see you later. See the mistake I made, which I knew I was gonna make, but I did make, was being like weirdly, absurdly early to ballet because I was going to pick up my pictures like I was telling you I was, and I left so much earlier than I needed to, but I was like, I don't know how long picking up pictures will take. Not that long. I walked in and there they were. Something I did ask because I was curious, whenever you order pictures from CVS online, they truly just like immediately print out in the store. Like they print immediately. So there was like people's headshots coming out of like the printer as I was standing there. So I asked the guy, I was like, do they, like, are you ever shocked by what you see? Because they come out face out too. And he was like, yes. I just can't imagine. Look, these are the pictures I picked for our living room though. They're like full posters. Like these are huge. We got this one. Thought it was cute. It's from when Zach and I, actually 2 of these are from when pardon me. 2 of these are from when we went to Hiawassee, but this is one of them. You can get it in the light a little bit. I think it's so cute.
I guess I'll show you the other Hiawassee one before I show you the fun one. I mean, all of them are fun. It's a little selfie with the mountains, my little YouTube camera. Isn't that cute? So that's the other one that's going to be up in our living room. And then lastly, look, new babies at prom. Baby Anna, baby Zach at prom. I love this prom. This prom is the best I've ever looked in my life. Like, everything just came together. Sorry for me like peering over the side as I'm telling you about the best I've ever looked in my life. Everything just came together perfectly for that prom. But now I'm just going to be sitting in my car until it's time to go in for ballet. Because they ask you not to go in any more than 10 minutes early. So I always go in exactly 10 minutes early before class starts. Look, that's cute. I always go in exactly 10 minutes before class starts, you know, do my stretching, all of that. Oh, we could talk about work, because I remember I was doing a little like setup thing. So I haven't come up with my stuff yet. Highs of the day. I feel like a family meeting that I had today went really well, was beneficial for the family, which is always good. And they had a chance for their questions to be answered and that kind of thing. Always good. Always feels good whenever, I mean, I don't play a role too much once we're there, all too much, but getting it scheduled and getting everyone sat down and everything, that's where my role is. So it went successfully. So I always feel good about it. Because whenever like I introduce the concept of having a little family meeting like this with the medical team to the family, I want it to then like show fruit, you know? So that was a high. Low of the day. I feel like there are several things that in my head I know are going to come up and be very big, very important when they do come up. But like there's not too much I can do now to lessen the acuity of them when they do come up in the future. If that makes any kind of sense at all. I just feel like the knowledge of future impending work is a low, I guess. Something funny. I don't know if there's necessarily anything funny today. Like I laughed today, you know, just like very hanging out with different people throughout my day. But I don't know if there was like something that stuck out as being funny. And then something I learned today. I feel like I'm learning, like I always am learning so much like actual medical stuff and medical terminology. And so lots of times, honestly, the stuff that I learn is like, oh, I didn't know the heart could do this. Like, I didn't know the lungs did this. I didn't know, like, what this defect was called, what this surgery looks like, etc. I feel like I learned a lot about, like, bacterial infections today. I know it's, like, not what you were probably thinking you would get whenever it's something that I learned today. But that is something that I learned today. That is, why would I have known that beforehand? I don't know, but now I do. And now I will for the future, too. So that's good. Tomorrow is the like big long morning of rounds, and so I always kind of dread them. I don't really. It's always good to learn what's going on. I feel like the reason I dread them is because I never feel like technology is reliable whenever I need to speak, and then I just always feel awkward. Like it'll be the kind of thing where like if I need to speak, I'll still be on mute or something like that. And they'll be like, well, I guess Anna's not here. And like people in my office will be like, you're on mute. And I'm like, oh gosh, like that's such a small moment. But it's like the apprehension of stuff like that happening is what stresses me out. Or like you start talking and they're like, you sound like a robot. And you're like, well, I don't know why that is, but embarrassing. That's why I dread those rounds. Because it's like rounds with like the big dogs, you know? And the big dogs, it's embarrassing to sound like a robot randomly on a webcam meeting. Such a small deal in the grand scheme of things, but genuinely that is like why I feel anxious sometimes. I have no business being this tired. I kind of have no business being this hungry, but I hope ballet is good tonight. This will be my 4th class in 6 years. I've been getting comments, a couple of comments from people have been like, this is my sign to go back to ballet, or like I was thinking about going back to dance and like this is my sign to go back to dance, because being an adult is so non-serious. Like any seriousness that you feel in adult dance classes, you're putting on yourself because nobody else feels that way. Like it's fun to be good at things and to like look good doing things, but also there's no pressure in adult classes to look great, perform perfectly, you know, like it's so different than growing up doing dance, but I feel like in a good way. And I feel like in a good like moving my body type of way. So I'll head in to ballet. It honestly might be time now. This has been 7 minutes, so I'm getting close to actually being able to go in. And I'll see you later.
We're so much in the same room that we've been in like this whole vlog, but I did switch sides of the room So like a little switch up, a little change up of the setup. Something that I have been thinking, which isn't gonna be helpful because I'm not gonna move the camera to show you right now, but the way that our little like study is set up, I kind of want to move my desk here and have my reading chair over by the window. You're sitting in my reading chair right now. I'm playing around with that idea. I felt so poorly today, honestly. Well, really it started because I woke up and it was the kind of wake up where like it's brutal awakening, like absolutely brutal awakening, where you're like, I cannot be awake right now. And so I went back to sleep. I slept until like 6:30, very late compared to when I usually wake up. My Whoop recovery was low, like just something was going on with my body where it was just like not feeling the day today. And then I go to work and I just like wasn't feeling the day today either. A high of my day is that I truly think that I am doing the best I can. A low of my day today, oh, also a high is that I had another family meeting that went well. A low of my day today is that I keep having to tell people that I truly am doing the best that I can, because there are things that other people wish were in my control that aren't in my control. Maybe even I wish they were in my control and I could just have like my little magic wand and poof, all better. But I feel like having to be like, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm doing the best that I can wear you down in a day. It is nice then though to have a supervisor who can be like, am I doing the best that I can? Is there anything I'm missing out that I should be doing? It's nice to get confirmation and guidance that way too. I don't remember what something funny in my day today. It's not funny. I went into cardiac arrest. I got a text on my little work phone today from someone like very important that said, can you call to talk about Anna? And when I saw that, I was like, she must have meant to send this like to my supervisor, or she must have meant to send, this to someone else. I was like, oh my gosh, like, can you call to talk about Anna? No, I can't. Please do not call to talk about Anna. But then it was just like a couple minutes later and she responded and was like, haha, I meant, can you call to talk about, and it was like a patient's name that I have. So I was like, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I did go into cardiac arrest for that moment, having received that text without getting the correction. Stressed me out. Something I learned in my day today. Again, it's like a science-y thing. I feel like I already knew this, but I like learned more about it and grew more confidence in it, and in knowing it and learning it today is the differences in different types of ECMOs. ECMO is like super life-sustaining mechanical life support. I'm sure other people could describe it so much better. To where your blood like literally gets taken out of your body, gets oxygen put in it, and then put back in your body if your heart or lungs aren't doing so well. And I learned the two different types of ECMO today. One is VA ECMO, and it bypasses your heart and your lungs. And one is VV ECMO, and it just bypasses your lungs. Your heart still pumps whenever you're on VV ECMO. That was something that I learned today. But then I got home and a thunderstorm started rolling in. I felt like I needed to eat. I felt like I was dehydrated. I felt like I couldn't stay awake for another second. Like, it just like everything was going wrong all at once. So I did lay down and took a little nap. It was a 12-minute nap, but it was really good. And I did edit last week's video, which was good. I was glad to have gotten that. It's not all the way done. It's close to done, but I was glad to have gotten a big chunk of that done. And filming this clip now feels productive for me. And I've been doing a little like a few houseworky type things because I haven't mentioned this yet. I have a friend who's coming into town. Look, I'm smiling and my AirPod's about to fall out. Oh, I guess now it's stopping. Does that happen to anyone else? I can like feel it moving in my ear. I just won't fix it and we can watch it fall out in a little bit. I have a friend who's coming to visit tomorrow. She's arriving tomorrow night. She'll be visiting over the weekend. So did a few like little housekeeping things. We'll have to do, there it goes. We'll have to do a few more tomorrow. But that's exciting. But in editing my video just now, and then I also was like rewatching a recent one, I feel like I've been saying for weeks now that, you can probably say it with me, you know what I'm about to say, my busyness usually is like a wave. It's like an ebb and a flow. And I feel like I've been ebbing for so long that I just need a flow. And I feel like my stamina is starting to wear down a little bit. Not in like an awful way, but just like in this is a different type of streak than I've had before with levels of activity in my day. Which like as I'm hearing myself say that, I'm like, Anna, selfish. Because if my day is busy, that means that there are a lot of people that are like needing me. And so I do feel lucky for all of the work that I get to do in a day, even if it's just like make the tiniest difference in someone's day. I feel so lucky for that. It's more so just to where like things are busy and it can be tiring. Oh my goodness. And today is not even Friday. Doesn't it feel like a Friday? Today is a Thursday. So I'll be going back into work tomorrow. I do plan. It's like, what time is it? It's 8:16 now. I honestly think that I'm gonna be like brushing my teeth, getting ready for bed, heading upstairs, maybe reading a little bit before going to sleep, just because of like how tired I was this morning, and this whole day was irregular. It was strange, and I feel like I just need to, for the night, to try to set myself up for success. So that's my plan. I'll see you later.
Oh, perfect.
We had such a fun weekend of like book shopping, beltline walking, browsing around cute little stores, going out to eat, and it was a very fun weekend. It was a good way to just like forget about work and good company to hang out with, and I feel really good about it. I am gonna start another vlog. I'm gonna make it be a nice little long Sunday to Saturday vlog that's coming up next, which means I've gotta sign out now. But do all of the YouTube things that you know how to do before you go. Liking the video helps me more than you know. Commenting makes my little heart flutter because I love chatting with you guys. And obviously subscribing so you don't miss future videos. Oh, and turning the little post notification on so you also don't miss future videos. I appreciate you. I love you so much. I know great things are coming your way in your life, and I will see you next time.